A lot of people ask, well, what was your qualifying time? And I'm like, I didn't have one. Good morning, everyone. It's like 5:45 here. I'm gonna have my coffee there, have my workout today. I ran I think total I got in about five and a half, 6 miles. I think 6 miles total. Looking at all of my stuff, so I got in 6 miles. It was more of a high intensity training, more to work on my speed and endurance, and well, endurance of course, but increasing that VO2 max and things like that. I'm training for the St. Jude Marathon in December, so I'm super pumped and excited about it. But this video has got my brain all sorts of wishy-washy, so let me just jump right into it. So those of you that didn't know, this past April I did run and finish the Boston Marathon. I was on Kathrine Switzer's 261 Fearless team, and it was just an experience to remember. I will never forget it for the rest of my life. It was just, there are no words. It was absolutely incredible. And Kathrine Switzer, for those of you that don't know, Kathrine Switzer, she was the first woman to ever run Boston in 1967. The race director tried to forcibly get her off of the course because she was a woman. So it was a huge thing in sports, in marathoning. I mean, people back in the day, women were not allowed to run because they're like, oh, well, if they do that, then their insides will literally burn up and they can't have children. That was a thought process that they thought would happen. So I know maybe for some of you you're like, what? But yeah, that's how people thought. That's only 50 years ago. That's only half a century. That's insane. That's crazy. But the biggest thing that even before I ran Boston, and especially after I've ran Boston, that has come to my attention even just a few weeks ago, it hit me hard. A lot of people ask, well, what was your qualifying time? And I'm like, I didn't have one. And they're like, well, then how did you run it? So with the foundation, we each raised $7,261 for her foundation. And a few weeks ago, I had an event that I was at, and anyways, there was a question about, has anybody ever qualified for Boston? And this is where it got awkward. How I ran it, I said that I ran it with a charity and that I hadn't with an official qualifying time. And a statement was made that, well, it doesn't count. That's all well and good, but you didn't really qualify. It just strikes, it hits a chord that I just don't think people understand. So it's one of those things that I don't think you should really say anything until you really understand what goes behind it. We all have our reasons why we run. We all have that reason and that drive to run, that do marathons, and we understand that endurance and to press forward and keep going. But I think there needs to be a unity that's seen beyond just qualifying, with a time base or with a money base. My biggest thing when I found out that I was going to run Boston was God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. And I think that goes vice versa both ways. That if you're meant to do something, you're going to do it. If you're meant to do something, God's going to put you in that place for you to be able to do it. So my thing is that God doesn't call the qualified. He's going to qualify the called in either capacity. So you're qualified either way. I got this, I think 5 months ago. I think I got this 5 months ago. I have not opened it. I've been afraid to open it. And I think it's because it's been bothering me about the whole, just, am I really qualified to open this? Am I worthy to open this? And what this is, it's the Racer's Record Book. And, I should have that. And look, that's so cool. Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. I'm so excited. Wow, I didn't realize that was going to be there. And it doesn't matter the opinion of somebody else, and that's been the biggest thing to kind of push through and for me to recognize before I even opened this, was that it bothered me so much that, I mean, Boston's been my dream for so long. who's to say there won't be another? And I hope and I pray the next time I go, it'll be through qualifying with a faster time. I would love to be able to do that. But if it's not, I mean, what's wrong with raising money for a charity and being able to do something like this in such a big and profound way? God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. So maybe somebody needed to hear that this morning. Just be reminded that the opinions of others, everybody's going to have one. Everybody's still going to have one. I'm still going to have people say for years to come that I didn't truly qualify for Boston. And you know what? That's okay. That's their opinion. But I know for me, I qualified, I ran it, and I finished. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for listening. And I will talk to y'all later. Bye.